Well, COVID news now out of Israel. There's a little over 12,600 cases of the virus, which means the virus is still around, but only about 80 of these cases are serious. Almost all COVID-related restrictions have been lifted in the country, except for the mandatory isolation period of at least 5 days or until a negative test. But soon, even that may be gone by the end of June, possibly. Israel may lift the mandatory isolation period for the first time since the pandemic broke out in Israel, making it strictly voluntary. But this will only be the case if the infection rate continues to trend low. And also, after more than 2 years, full aviation operations of international flights at Ben Gurion Airport will resume for takeoffs from Terminal 1. All right, now let's cross straight to our correspondent. Emily Francis is standing by for us at Ben Gurion Airport to give us the latest there. Well, Emily, it's a big morning for Israelis, obviously, today, in the country's plan to slightly get life back to normal again here in the country. What do you see happening there around you right now? And tell us more about these latest announcements.
Well, good morning, Sarah. I think I, like the rest of you watching, would be very excited about taking a flight and going on a holiday. It's really quite incredible that this terminal where we're standing was literally closed for 2 years to international travel. And today, being June 1st, everything opening, we spoke to the spokeswoman for the airport. She said that there are 60,000 people flying out of Terminal 1 today, and they're expecting as many as 75,000 people tomorrow. So quite incredibly, it is business as usual. It doesn't even, you don't see people wearing masks. It's almost as if this is what it was like before the COVID outbreak 2 years ago. So people obviously excited. Some people complaining about the lines, but from what we've been able to glean, the lines are moving pretty quickly. Security is moving pretty quickly in spite of the fact that there really aren't even enough employees. They need to hire as many as 1,000 more people for all of the stores, for security, and for any other kinds of personnel. But as far as today, people are just happy and I think on adrenaline and happy to be here and happy to be going on a vacation and leaving the country for a few days.
Emily, it's not just aviation operations resuming again either, but also duty-free shops. These were previously closed, but now they're reopening again.
Yep, and the lines are long in the duty-free shops. I myself went and checked them out. So people, fortunately, most people seem to be arriving early enough, but some are in for a rude awakening. We saw some people show up thinking that there weren't going to be lines, and they almost missed their flight. So I think for those watching that are planning to travel, you really have to, stick to the regulations of getting here early to allow yourself to get through security, to do some shopping, to eat some food and whatnot. But, overall, there's a lot of flights. We're looking at the board. Most of the flights are full. There's flights going to Greece, to Romania, to Turkey, Italy, all over the world. So it's pretty cool to see. People are smiling.
Emily, also, we understand a flight of Ethiopian immigrants will be arriving later on this afternoon. Tell us more a little bit about that.
Sure. No, this is very, very exciting. I mean, this is part of an ongoing Operation Soar Israel, where they're, over time going to be reuniting thousands of Ethiopians with their family members that have been able to make Aliyah to Israel over the past many years and decades. So today at 2 o'clock, they are expecting the first plane load on El Al of about 180 people, with 160 people tomorrow. So this is also very, very exciting. A lot of very important dignitaries will be here later this afternoon, and we will be here throughout the day to cover that as well. But a very big deal and a very, very emotional journey and an emotional welcome for hundreds and soon to be thousands of people from Ethiopia that have been waiting for years, sometimes decades, to be able to come home to Israel.
Of course, you'll be bringing us all of those latest details a little bit later this afternoon. Emily will be crossing back to you then. Emily Francis bringing us all the latest at Ben Gurion Airport. Thank you very much. And Shanghai is springing back to life now as well after 2 months of isolation under a ruthless COVID-19 lockdown. Well, people there are now driving their cars again, hopping into trains and buses. The 25 million residents in China's largest and most cosmopolitan city went against the global consensus that COVID cannot be decisively defeated, and instead they imposed a zero-tolerance policy to stamp out the outbreak. Well, many analysts are expecting the Chinese economy to contract in the second quarter and the recovery to be a grinding process, with consumers and businesses unlikely to regain confidence immediately. That's all we have time for now from the news desk. We are bringing you more of the latest news, though, from across this region and around the globe, so do stay tuned for more across the morning. For now, though, you can follow us. We're on social media. I'm Sarah Shalala, and thank you for joining us.